continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The OCTA Research Group reports that the COVID-19 reproduction rate in Metro Manila remains below 1. On One News's agenda, OCTA's Guido David said the reproduction rate in NCR is now at 0.88, which means the COVID-19 situation in the capital is not yet alarming. David adds that over the past weeks, there has been no significant case increases recorded in local governments in the metro. But the expert reminds the public to remain vigilant.
We're not seeing anything alarming in Metro Manila at this time. May mga spikes in cases in places, and that's why we have to continue our vigilance. Average number of cases natin yan is mga 640 per day sa Metro Manila. So bumaba na siya compared to the surge. Pero this is before the surge, it's still a bit higher compared to pre-surge. So pero maganda naman yung situation natin. Hospitals are good. Yung positivity rate natin nasa 6% na. Still not the best, but you know, nag-improve naman siya slowly.
Though the COVID-19 situation is not yet alarming, David said the NCR should stay under GCQ, as there was also no significant improvements observed over the past weeks. He noted that the capital can still relax economic restrictions like adding operation capacity of restaurants. However, the expert warns that if health authorities find evidence of the Delta variant community transmission in Metro Manila, residents should expect a surge worse than what was experienced in March.
If we find evidence na may community transmission ng Delta variant sa country natin, then that will change things. Then, you know, we have to be mindful of the threat of the Delta variant. Pag makapasok na siya at kumalan siya dito, the surge will be worse than what we saw in March. It will be faster.
US-based tech firm Simularity reiterates that their report on the Chinese waste at the West Philippine Sea is authentic. The firm also defended their use of a photo taken in Australia to illustrate the practice of ships dumping waste into the ocean. Camille Samonte joins us live in Manila to give us more details. Camille, good afternoon. What do you have for us?
Charles, the US-based firm Simularity stood by its report that hundreds of Chinese vessels are dumping human waste and sewage in the Spratlys. These after government officials branded the report as fake news. Founder and CEO of Simularity, Liz there defended the photo they used in their report, which officials use as basis in discrediting their findings. There explained that they featured an image of a ship from an unknown source to provide context and illustrate the common sewage dumping practice of ships. There noted that they never claimed that the photo was taken in Spratlys and that they gave a very clear credit to the image source, stating that it was an unknown ship. Philippine government officials earlier pointed out that the photo used in the report was taken from a 2014 Daily Mail report on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. They stressed that their research is not based on that photo, but on satellite images that are well-researched and validated. They, however, admitted that it was difficult to identify via satellite imagery where the ships belongs to. But there is still a high probability that these are Chinese vessels as they look very similar to the ships that they have been monitoring in the Whitsun Reef in the Union Bank since last year. There said it has been documented that China has the largest number of ships in the South China Sea and they tend to be near the Chinese outposts. They admitted that she regrets using the photo in their report as it only created confusion and derailed the message of their findings.
It was for context because it's really hard to see that and understand it from the satellite imagery. That's why we put that image in there. At this point, I do regret that because it just it created some misunderstandings that I think have derailed the message a little bit. Our research is not based on that image. Our research is entirely based on the multispectral satellite images that show the chlorophyll.
Charles, Simularity also encouraged the Philippine government to conduct its own investigation on the matter and to verify their findings. As of this time, the Chinese embassy in the Philippines has yet to make a comment. Charles?
Thank you for those updates, Camille. That was Camille Samonte reporting live from Manila. The DENR is now coordinating with the Philippine Coast Guard to conduct a water sampling in the West Philippine Sea to ensure the safety of our waters. That's amid the confusion brought about by a researcher's use of a photo depicting waste being thrown into the Great Barrier Reef in Australia as an example of a similar practice supposedly being done over at the West Philippine Sea. Speaking with 1PH sa Totoo Lang, Environment Undersecretary Benny Antiporda assured the public that they will look into the matter despite the misrepresentation. Antiporda added that if an environmental issue would arise from this, then the agency will let the DFA handle the concern with the Chinese government. However, Antiporda emphasized that it is illogical for Chinese fishermen to destroy their own livelihood.
Let us always remember na ang China, wala pong sariling dagat yan. Yan pong dagat na yan. Ang tanging karagatan nila na pwede silang mangisda. So, hindi ho natin makita yung logic na bakit sisirain nila na dyan di sila nabubuhay.
The PNP is seeking dialogue with the Supreme Court to iron out some issues on the use of body cameras during arrests. In an interview with the chiefs, PNP Chief Guillermo Eleazar said that several concerns have been raised during their meeting with their technical working group. Among these included the encryption of data obtained from body camera recordings, as well as the requirement that all operatives involved in arrests need a recording device. Eleazar explained that they need to clarify the specifications of the devices that will be used as alternative recording devices, such as smartphones.
Talagang this is a major adjustment sa amin kasi napakaraming dapat na ayusin pa. Anyway, nagsimula naman tayo sa wala. So practically, kung wala kang body-worn camera, you should be using at least two alternative recording device, which ito yung ating cellphone. Pero yun nga, dapat siguro may sarili talaga kami dedicated cellphone.
Meanwhile, the National Union of People's Lawyers said that the SC's rule on the use of body cams can be improved further. Still on the chiefs, NUPL President Edre Olalia suggested that the SC look into the number of arresting officers during an operation. That's on top of determining the battery life of devices used, as well as pinpointing the exact time when the body cam will be turned on. Despite these issues, Olalia admits that the resolution is a welcome advancement for the protection of human rights.
It's not a perfect document, but by and large, generally, it is a most welcome advancement for the protection of rights and also the protection of our police officers. In that way, we don't want to tie the hands of our police officers, not at all. We just want to ensure that rights are protected and the performance of official duty is in fact followed.
A health expert says the case surge in Indonesia is caused by multiple factors, including complacency with health protocols. Aside from rising cases of the Delta variant, vaccine expert panel member Dr. Ronjin Solantes said the relaxed quarantine in Indonesia and their public behavior also caused the recent COVID-19 surge. Solantes tells One News is the big story, that giving the public the ability to gather despite the spread of the highly contagious variant is the main reason why there are still surges in different countries despite the rollout of vaccines. For now, Solante expressed confidence with the government's strategy to prevent community transmission of the Delta variant.
I totally agree with what the government is doing now. The most important first step is really border control. Identifying countries, especially countries with high community transmission of this Delta variant, this should be the priority of our country to really ban the travel and more or less monitor the countries with reported Delta variant transmission.
The Trade Department has launched its livelihood seeding program in Pasig by distributing what they call Karinderya kits to small businesses affected by the pandemic. Laila Pangilinan with the details.
The DTI Regional Operations Group has turned over Karinderya kits to 70 food retailers and other micro-entrepreneurs in Barangay Santo Tomas in Pasig City as part of the Livelihood Seeding Program, Negosyo Serbisyo sa Barangay, or LSP-NSB, to help residents recover from the economic impact of the ongoing pandemic. The project allows a wider reach of business development assistance by bringing government services closer to the people through partnerships between local government units and DTI officials. entrepreneurs. Each beneficiary will be provided an individual package of livelihood kits that contain items that can assist them in times of catastrophic events, including health disasters like an epidemic or a pandemic. But how does one become a beneficiary?
Meron po sana silang mga negosyo na naapektuhan ng ngayong pandemya na napatigil po ito at hindi pa po sila tumatanggap ng iba't ibang mga assistance program sa iba't ibang ahensya. At sila po ay mga legit na karinderya owner, registered po sila sa ating PESA office o public employment office at saka po sa BPLO. So doon po nagbabangga po yung mga profile nila pati sa DSWD, LGU na hindi pa po sila nakakatanggap ng mga programang pinansyal.
However, the project took a setback because of the mass gathering restrictions during the pandemic. But the DTI is now ready to take on the challenge of the new normal.
Ito po ay ipinapaabot natin sa buong bansa. Limited po yung ating budget for this, but sinisigurado po natin na makakatulong at mababago po natin ang estado ng pamumuhay ng mga naapektuhan ng pandemyang COVID-19. So kailangan lamang po dito ay updated din tayo kasi may mga resolution po, mga local government unit sa paggagather at pag-iipon ng mga tao. Ang dati po ito napakabilis and napakalakas, but we have to follow the restriction order.
The Carinderia starter kits include a rice cooker, a set of knives, a set of plates and soup bowls, and a sack of rice. Beneficiaries say that the Carinderia starter kit is a big help to jumpstart their business.
Malaking tulong po yung bigay po ng DTI. At nagpapasalamat din po kami kay Mayor Vico, Congressman Romulo. Papasalamat po kami sa DTI. Nagbinigyan po kami ng Carinderia kit. Malaking tulong po ito sa amin, sa aming mga nagnenegosyo. At palalaguin na po namin yung bigay po sa amin.
Each starter kit costs 5,000 to 8,000 pesos. This will allow beneficiaries to buy other essentials from the money that was saved.
Pandagdag po dun sa magagawa kong fried rice. Pandadagdag ko po sa mga ulam. Yung sa mga siomay.
Aside from the Carinderia starter kit, beneficiaries like Jemico also got a 4-day free training and seminar on how to effectively grow their business.
Tambay lang po ako sa bahay. Tapos hanggang sa nabalita ko po merong ganito. Makakatulong din po kasi ito sa akin eh.
For his part, Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto thanked the DTI NCR Regional Office for providing assistance to Pasigueño entrepreneurs.
Hopefully, maging malaking tulong talaga sa kanila, panimula sa negosyo. Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, kailangan talaga buhayin natin muli ang lokal na ekonomiya. Itong mga tulong na ganito, malaking bagay talaga.
For 2021, a total of 82,400 starter kits will be distributed in different barangays in the country to help MSMEs during the pandemic. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.